Good morning, guys. I'm Zeno Lancaster. I own Lancaster Law Firm here in Asheville, North Carolina. We've got offices in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and Canton, North Carolina. We've got a great team. We love to work with new realtors, seasoned realtors, new lenders, seasoned lenders. We just hired our fourth attorney who is training now. They're going to head up our Canton office. We've got an in-house title abstractor. We search titles in-house between them and the attorneys so we can do it faster. We are here to help, guys, and if you haven't worked with us, we hope you'll try us out. Today I'm going to talk about if I was a realtor. So everyone's going to hate it, but I think it'll be a fun topic, and you guys can post in the comments on how you think I'm wrong, how you think I'm right, and I hope, I do see a lot of contracts. I see more contracts than any one of you do, trust me. And that's not I'm closing them. So I do see some tips and tricks that I'd like to spread with the rest of you that I think were good ideas. And maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me how I'm wrong. But it's very competitive out there, as you guys know. And any little tidbit on a contract might get your buyer's offer accepted. I also want to give some advice to some listing agents out there that are accepting these offers. Again, these are just my 2 cents. It is somewhat of a egotistical post today, but I think these tips and tricks will help, and hopefully 1 or 2 things you'll pick up from that help you guys get your offers accepted or help your sellers pick a better offer. So why this is important. Listing agents, I have seen personally where you have cost your clients money. Now, before I get started, you're all going to reply, well, the client does what they want to do. Okay. My clients do what they want to do too after I tell them what they want to do. They rely on us for advice. You guys know that. Sometimes that's true. Most of the time it's a bit of a cop-out. They're looking to us to give them professional advice, and they usually take it most of the time. I think that certainly goes for attorneys. I'm sure it also goes for realtors. If you have a client that's just crazy, then this post won't apply, and you've got a crazy client. I have them too. So anyway, listing agents, we'll start with you. So you guys have a nice thing going right now. If you thanks Venus, I love these weekly lives too. And you guys have a good gig right now. We need inventory, and you're going to get a slew of offers. And I get it, especially if it's a popular property and you have it priced right. You're going to get a ton of offers, and looking through those can be hectic and crazy and burdensome, and you're getting lots of text messages and emails about non-offers, just, hey, is it still available? When's the deadline? All that. It's a busy job. That's kind of the gig, guys. And I just want to say that I've seen listing agents cost their clients money, a lot of money. And, cash is king. Yes. Sometimes the king, though, is kind of a little, shorter than the upcoming prince that you were also sent over to review. And I've seen people lose tens of thousands of dollars on offers, accepting the quick cash offer when they could have closed 2 weeks later and made tens of thousands more. I have clients that have gone through that. I'm sure some of the realtors watching have clients that have gone through that. If I'm a listing agent, I know that 20 grand's not going to mean much of a difference in my commission. But guys, if you've got it, I would give loan offers a little bit more scrutiny. These people have actually done a bit more than your cash people have done. The cash people have accumulated cash. That's great. But the loan, they've gone out, they've got their pre-qual. We know they're looking, we know they're trying to buy, and you guys have to know there's not much inventory out there. They've probably offered over list. I would take those a little bit more seriously. I don't know that a lot of, you guys can chime in if I'm wrong. I don't know that a lot of listing agents are getting burned more often by loan offers than cash offers. I mean, I see cash offers terminate all the time too. So just something to think about. I do think we need to nod at higher prices for our sellers. Just my 2 cents over getting it sold faster. I know that cash offers were just flying up here. But guys, we're looking at a 2-week delay on loan closings versus cash. 2 weeks. Who's not going to wait 2 more weeks to get 30 grand? So Something to think about. Again, I have experienced this. In fact, I experienced this personally. So if I sound a little bitter, I am. It all works out as it typically does. But I know that I watched a house close for 30 or 40 grand, even less than I offered for it. And I was going to buy it. So I made that very clear. And I'm assuming the agent knew that I work in here in town and that I probably would have qualified for a mortgage. And that decision cost their client about 40 grand. So they closed 2 weeks prior to when I would have closed it. And I can't be the only one. And I know I'm not, because I have other clients that have gone through it too. So, I don't know that I have the perfect answer, but listing agents, you might want to take a second look at those loan offers you're getting and the closing dates. And, if it's a concern on whether the lender or attorneys can get it done, I promise you we can get it done. And a question for your lender to make sure they can get it done in 30 days and whatnot. But I don't know many sellers who aren't okay waiting an extra day or two to get paid a lot more than what the cash offers are being presented as. Thanks, Desiree. Good to see you watching. Hope you're doing well. So buyer's agents. Now, there's lots of little tips and tricks you can do. And what, in my opinion, you're trying to do, it's like a resume. Look, I'm trying to get the job. What can I put on my resume that'll make this stand out to the listing agent who's only looking at cash offers at this point? I think you do have to throw some pretty terms in there that stand out. And the typical offers to purchase are very boring. Most of the pages are boilerplate. So I can tell you this is certainly how we review them, because they're boilerplate. We're usually looking in a few different places to catch all the terms. I guarantee you when someone's getting 20 offers, they're looking at the key areas to get terms. That's purchase price, that's due diligence money, earnest money, and closing date. I guarantee you those are the first things they're looking at. Again, chime in below if you think I'm wrong on that. The last thing they're looking at, in my opinion, is seller pay closing costs, home warranty request, what personal property conveys, things like that. I truly believe that's the last thing anyone's looking at. And you can certainly point that out if you think something in those last few things is very important that the seller ought to see. But it's on them to look at it. And unless you're offering them something big in those somehow, I don't know what you would offer in there, just beyond not asking for a home warranty, beyond not asking for a credit, beyond saying, I don't know, please take the fridge. I don't know what else you would put in there. So what you want to do is put very attractive terms in there. Buyers, right now, you need to be offering what you would buy. The house, I would pay $500,000 for the house and be happy. If I had to pay 501, I would be unhappy. Offer 500. Don't offer 480. Stop it. And realtors, don't let them push you around. I have clients that, I'm trying. I have to deal with these for sale by owner and clients that just don't want realtors sometimes, and it's a pain. And I can commiserate with you guys sometimes. Let's see what they'll take. Let's see that's not worth my time, and it shouldn't be worth your time, in my opinion. If you don't have a client that's serious about buying in this market, that's not the client for me. And I do think you're able to push back. They're coming to you because you're the professional. You can say, listen, if you're not serious about buying this home, we shouldn't even put in an offer. And I understand if they say, no, I want to put in an offer of 480. You have to do it. I would have to do it too. But I hope you're all having that conversation, and be confident in that conversation, and let them know that, look, your odds drop significantly if you're not putting in your best offer. And again, that's especially when they're a loan purchaser. If you have a loan purchaser and they're not putting in their top dollar, in my opinion, that is a bad decision, and there are lots of reasons for that. Number one, they need to put in that top offer to be competitive for all the other offers. Hopefully you have a listing agent that's listened to this video and understands that 30, 40 grand's worth a couple of weeks in closing days, or whatever, or risking loan contingency, even though you have a pre-qual letter in your hand, or whatever. They need to be putting up that magic number where they're happy. Second of all, my goodness, rates are so low. It's free money. Who cares if you're offering 20 or 30 grand over what you wanted to lowball them at, if a lot of it's financed? People are trying to give your clients money to go buy homes right now. They should be offering high amounts. It's mostly paid for by the bank at a very low interest rate. Why buyers aren't buying even more than they are right now with the current rates? It's I don't know. My clients are. So I would feel confident pushing back on that. The mortgage rates are tiny. They may never see them again in their lifetime. That house will appreciate fast at a better interest rate than that mortgage rate. They're going to make money. They'll make back whatever they offered, the 10 or 20 grand they offered over their lowball offer. So push back on that. Feel confident in that. That's going to help your clients' offers get more attention. Look, if the listing agent gets 20 offers, there's a number where I promise you they're just throwing away. You know, the client, if it were me, I would do it. If I was the seller, numbers under 495, don't even show me those contracts. I don't want to see them. Those are rejected. And I don't have time to counter offer because I have 5 or 10 offers over 495. That's what I would do if I were selling. So you need to be putting in your best dollar offer. Don't expect a counter. That's not realistic when people are inundated with contracts that are over what they wanted or much higher than your client's offers. So that's another thing you need to be telling your buyers. Listen, if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to follow this advice, don't expect them to counter. Don't send in a low ball and expect a counter. Maybe you'll get one and that'd be great and we'll all be happy. But the odds of you getting a counter offer after lowballing right now, not very likely. In fact, you may not even get a response, or a rude one maybe. But that's another thing. Stop being rude to each other. I see posts all the time online where realtors are rude to each other. God knows attorneys are rude to each other. Just no suffices. Just say no. No's okay. No thanks, even better. So, but that's another tip. Guys, don't forget about seller pay closing costs. If you'll remember at the start of the video, I personally don't believe that's something that sellers or listing agents look at. Some of you probably look at it every time because you're thorough. And that's great. But when someone's getting 20, 30 offers on a house, seller pay closing costs, I just don't think are the first thing they look at. They're looking at price and closing and due diligence and earnest money. Raise your offers up, buyers. Raise your offers up 6 or 7, 8 grand or whatever you think your closing costs are going to be. If you have a good lender, they're going to be able to estimate those for you. And then get them back in seller pay closing costs. Your offer looks prettier and you end up getting a big credit from the sellers. Probably one that they looked at after falling in love with the number you sent to them. I'm just saying, they fell in love with it likely. Theirs comes off the proceeds. It's all the same to them. Even if it's not, even if they say, well, that reduces it. He offered 505 and then asked for 5,000, really only getting 500. They're still likely going to be happy with 500 because you've taken your top number and added in the closing costs. And also it's probably going to appraise and it actually will save your clients money on their closing costs, by the way, buyers, agents. We don't see these as often as I thought we would. And I don't think that, I think that's crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see a lot of counter offers asking for removal of seller pay closing costs because a lot of times they are used after adding 5 to seller pay closing costs, add 5 to the purchase price. It didn't cost the seller anything off of our offer because we were really offering 5, and it saves me money on my closing costs, and it will likely appraise because of the real estate market. Something to think about there. What other tips? Fast closing dates. If you do have a cash offer or you have a lender who you know can close them fast, that does help. And it wouldn't help with me if I was a seller, but I know you guys see some sellers that like fast closing dates. Of course, everyone loves getting paid faster. But we're talking about a matter of weeks versus a matter of more weeks. Very few people are taking 2 months to close. It's 4 to 6 weeks on a loan transaction typically. It's how fast you can get a lawyer to close it on the cash. And I do think that helps. I do think you guys should be working with providers who can help your offers be more competitive in the closing date arena. But I can't imagine most sellers. I can't imagine 7 or 8 out of 10 sellers care about 2 weeks, 3 weeks versus 4 weeks, 5 weeks, even 6 weeks. I can't imagine that's the case. A lot of them need it. I bought a house and I wanted to close earlier, and the seller was like, "Oh, I need to move out. I've got plans. I can't get out that fast." They didn't want a fast closing date. In fact, they countered to have a little bit more time. I just can't imagine most sellers are needing that, such that it's a term that they'll negotiate on, such that they would take less money to close earlier. I don't believe that. I don't think most sellers are doing that. I think maybe they're getting some advice to do that, but I don't think they should be getting that advice, and I don't think they should do that unless it's some sort of emergency where they just have to get out. I mean, if they're moving away, we can wire them the money. So I'm not really sure unless they need the money for an upcoming purchase in 3 weeks, which is pretty crazy if they're just now. But anyway, I guess it could happen, but not something I think is that important. But still, if it is, and it can't hurt, have providers, have lenders, have attorneys that can help you close it fast, okay? We get calls every day from people we've never heard of who have asked 3 other attorneys if they can close it. And that's a little braggadocious, but it's just the truth. And we've never worked with them before, and I'm always surprised. It's always very humbling that we were the 5th or 6th firm they called, but it's true. And everyone's very busy, and a lot of attorneys don't use in-house title abstracting, which means they freelance it out, which means they hire a contractor, basically, it is a contractor, to go to the Register of Deeds and search title for them. Those people are busy too, because a lot of firms use them. Those people, sometimes the attorneys won't hire those people until due diligence is passed, because they have to pay them regardless of it closes, of whether it closes. So that if it terminates, they've just paid this freelancer, and for what? Find you an attorney that searches in-house. There are more. It's not just me, but find one that does, because then your attorney's going to be able to control that title search date, which is going to help you close on time and offer faster closing dates. Katie writes, for sellers, appraisals are usually what gives them pause versus straight cash with no appraisal, unless the buyer is willing to up the difference of an appraisal is short. I've had a couple low appraisals this year. Katie, you're right, but I'm just not seeing that anymore, and maybe I'm wrong, so I appreciate the comment. I think appraisals have caught up. I do think there was a lag. The market shot up so fast that comps weren't there and appraisers were behind on catching up on those prices. I haven't seen an appraisal issue in a while. I'm sure it still happens. Some offers are just too high. But if Mr. Moneybags offers that much over, I do think they should try to come up with the difference. But also, I think it's worth it to me if I'm a seller. If a buyer offers me 30 or 40 grand over the cash deal, I'm going to take the risk on that appraisal, I think. I mean, all I got to do is relist it. And I don't think sellers are in that much of a hurry. Maybe I'm wrong. If they're getting that much attention on their property, most of the sellers I'm finding are fine if things terminate. They're excited because their house is worth more today than it was yesterday. That's what I'm seeing. I'm having sellers ask me if they can get out of their contracts. I'm absolutely having sellers ask me, hey, the buyers, their attorney hasn't been able to close, or their lender hasn't been able to close this. We're after settlement date. Can I get out of my contract? I get asked that once a month at least. And some of them had a right to get out of their contract, and they wanted to because their house is worth a lot more than it was 6 weeks ago. Not a lot more, but more. And or at least they feel that way, and they're usually correct. So, but I do think appraisals have caught up. I would love to hear from more folks on that. I haven't seen many appraisals get denied recently. They seem to be trying to make it happen, and honestly, things are just blowing up. I mean, tiny houses in Asheville are $500,000 or $600,000. Most of your appraisals, I do think, are going to come through at this point. But you're right, there was a lag. What else do I have? I'll try to make the rest of it quick. Guys, I think that's all. If you have special terms, I want to make sure I have chickens. It's very important to me. Chickens need chickens. Get a service provider that can find that out quickly for you during due diligence, buyers. You're having to compete on these offers. What I would suggest is not reaching out to your providers and saying, can they have chickens? We need to know that before we put in an offer. No, you don't. Put in the offer. That's a due diligence term. I mean, I'm happy to try, if I can, to look and see if they have chickens, but really we need to do a full title search to certify that to you. And again, I see that as not a serious buyer. If they love that house, they're willing to put in a little skin to find out if they can have chickens. And honestly, a quick review of the restrictions that should be listed in the listing itself, guys, or a quick look around to see if anyone else has chickens is your due diligence before going under contract, in my opinion. But we can certainly help with that sort of thing. Can have a swimming pool, can have a fence. Don't wait to put in an offer. It's too competitive out there. You're going to lose your offer. You're going to have your service provider look and take time to find that answer, and then it's going to be gone anyway. That's my 2 cents. That's what I'm telling a buyer to do. Put in the offer if you want the house. We'll figure it out. If chickens are a deal breaker, put in a due diligence amount that you're okay losing if chickens are a deal breaker and we can't have chickens. That's pretty rare though, okay? I don't think I have anything else, guys. I will say communication is key. We get this complaint all the time, not at us, thankfully, but real estate attorneys, we can't get a call back, we can't get an email, so we try to be very good at communication. Guys, this goes both ways. Please communicate with each other, communicate with your attorneys. If we're reaching out, it's usually because someone has reached out to us last minute for something they need. So we're reaching out last minute for something we need. Let's communicate, and it usually is a quick yes or no or whatever. I don't think I have anything else, guys. Please post comments below on what topics you would like to see. I'm running a little short on topics. I need to brainstorm some, mastermind some with some realtors and lenders. But would love your feedback on that. Hope some of this helped. If one thing helps, it was worth it. If none of it helped, thanks for watching. You can, and please comment below on anything you think I got wrong or anything you think I got right. And we'll all become a little wiser. Have a great week, guys, and talk to you soon.